I've been entering a lottery in China for 6 years. It's not for money, it's for the right to own a car. Today, I'm breaking down the most insane differences between China and the States when it comes to car and motorcycle culture. Trust me, you're gonna wanna hear this from me because no one else is talking about this. I'm BeeRoseinchina, let's zoom right into this. Let's start with the big one, buying a car. In Beijing, you have to have a license plate before you can purchase a car. And to get the plate, you need to enter into a lottery. There are drawings every 6 months and you can stay entered until you win. But the thing is, I've been in the lottery for 6 years waiting, and I know people who have been waiting longer than that. My husband owns a car, and that actually hurts my chances to own one because there's a point system and they consider a lot of things. If you're single, if you're married, if you have kids, if your family already has a car, and due to my husband having one, my chances go way down. What do I love about this system? Money can't skip it. Everyone waits. If this system were in the States, money would definitely talk and it wouldn't be fair. Beijing restricts plates to 1, protect the environment, and 2, stop total insanity from happening on the road because there's 22 million people here. Can you imagine 22 million cars? In the States, you also can't just buy a car. A Chinese car, of course, due to tariffs and regulations. But for any other car, the process is going to be flipped from Beijing. You buy the car first, and then you buy the plates. Also, in the States, you can buy super old cars, but in Beijing, it's not allowed because the exhaust is bad for the environment. I know what you're thinking. BeeRose, why don't you just get a motorcycle? What if I told you that owning a motorcycle in Beijing is way harder than a car? In the States, if you want a motorcycle, all you need to do is go and buy one, and you can ride it anywhere. But in Beijing, it's more complicated than that. There is no lottery system, but there are 2 kinds of plates. Jing A, which can ride around 99% of Beijing, and Jing B, which can ride on the outskirts. But here's the thing, Beijing quit making Jing A plates in 1996. Right now, there's only about 20,000 of them floating around. So what does that mean? The demand has went up, the supply has gone down, which means the price has skyrocketed. A Jing A plate in 2026 is gonna cost more than your bike and more than most cars. We're talking around 300,000 to 500,000 RMB. That's about $40,000 to $70,000. Jing B plates are still being issued, but you can't ride downtown. And if you do with a Jing B plate, you can get huge fines or points off your license, which means you're gonna lose your license. In the States, police will be hiding, trying to catch you, but in Beijing, it's totally different. I had a huge culture shock when I moved here. I was wondering, where are the police? Well, all you need to do is look in the sky. The cameras are the digital police, and they are watching you everywhere you go. And if you try to hide your plate, you can just say bye-bye to your license. But the craziest part is, if you do own a motorcycle, you'll have to part with it sooner than you would think. In Beijing, there's a rule. When your bike turns 13 years old, you can't ride it anymore. It must be scrapped no matter the condition. This policy made sense 50 years ago when bikes weren't built to last, but now bikes made in China last seemingly forever. A lot of people may think that made in China means bad quality, but that's just not true. Made in China means not just quality, but crazy innovation, lots of tech, luxury materials, all for an affordable price. Beijing may seem strict to you, but actually, there are cities who are even more strict that ban motorcycles entirely due to them getting a bad rep in the past for crime. If you are able to own a motorcycle though in Beijing, you cannot modify it, which is totally different from the States where people modify their bikes and cars to show their personal expression. It's not just bikes that are regulated, it's cars too. Fail an exhaust test? You can't drive it anymore. So what do people do to avoid all this? They buy EVs. China and the States are living in 2 different timelines when it comes to EVs. But before we talk about those, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Simify for making this video possible. Every year when I go back to the States with my 2 kids, I use an eSIM, so I have one less thing to worry about. In a nutshell, that's mobile data that you can download to your phone without having to buy or switch out a physical SIM card. To do this, just go to the Simify app, choose your destination and the plan, choose the automatic setup, and once you land, after you adjust your phone settings, you'll be online in minutes. Last time I landed in the States, we missed our connecting flight. It was a huge headache, but having data right after we landed was so convenient, and it was great having one less thing to worry about with kids. There are so many different plans available for people, including an unlimited Asia plan for trips short or long, which is perfect for people who like to country hop. I do have a Chinese phone number, but if I didn't, I would definitely use it here. Simify works in 150 plus destinations. But the craziest part is there are some plans that are only a few dollars a day. Before your next trip, get your eSIM before you fly and use my code BeeRose or the link in the description for 15% off. Once you land, you'll be online in just minutes. I'm so excited for your future travels. Now let's keep exploring the differences between China and the States. China is all in on EVs, and you can really feel it when you go to a busy intersection and it's just quiet. Buses are electric, taxis are electric, trucks are electric, and you can see so many cool EV brands on the road, my favorite being Li Auto, of course. It really makes cars in America sound a bit like tractors. Anyways, and remember how I told you you have to enter into a lottery to get a license plate? Well, for EVs, it's easier. All you need to do is wait. But I was quoted that I would have to wait about 20 years, so there is that. In America, owning an EV feels more like a luxury thing or something you do when you want to help the environment. But in China, it's more of a normal thing and it is affordable for all people. Let's go charge the car. Now let's talk about parking in Beijing. And this one blew my mind when I found out about it. Parking spots are actually sold separately from the apartments. They're going to range about 200,000 to 400,000 RMB for a lifetime spot. But if you didn't move in when the community opened, then you can rent one for about 500 RMB to about 1,500 RMB. In the States, the majority of people do live in houses, so for sure they're gonna have a place to park. But if they live in an apartment, then it really just depends on that place. Parking is crazy hard in Beijing, so it's not uncommon to see cars double parked, which is why you will see people's phone numbers on their dashboard so you can give them a call if you need them to move. So what do you think? And what's owning a car or motorcycle like where you live? Let me know. Until next time, peace out. 李胜同学 Open the screen.
好的，这就点亮后藏娱乐屏哦。
我不杀伯仁，伯仁却因我而死。